I have, mate.
Welcome to the Rangers Journey.
Afternoon, folks. How we all doing? Richard here from Rangers Journal with your pre-match podcast. Got the one and only Mitch with me today, as well as Nicky. How you doing? Both all right? Start
Good,
with yourself, Mitch.
thanks.
Okay, mate, no bad. All the better for seeing you this fine Remembrance Day.
I know you've been watching it.
I've watched wee bits of it, mate, because obviously we've got the wedding, so
Yeah.
you know it's been flitted between that and Gabby's dollhouse this morning.
Fair enough. And how about yourself, Nicky? I believe you were out in your local
I
area
went
for
up to the
Remembrance.
ceremony and seen the parades with my wee girl, yeah.
Nice. Now, you're all set for a good afternoon with the Rangers and hopefully won't spoil it for us.
Hopefully.
Mitch, just come to you first, mate, if you don't mind.
Always, mate.
How's your feelings towards it today? You're hopeful?
Do you know what? I'm going to say it's expectant, not hopeful. We owe Dundee one. You know, they've beat us already this season. This is a team that is now, they've got a chance to show that they are a very different team now than what turned up at the start of the season. And I'm not being funny. I can't be beat by the librarian twice before Christmas. I can't. Like, it's today. I don't care how we do it. I don't care if it's ugly champagne football. Get it done. Get 3 points in the bag. International breaks coming, and my mental health can take a breather for a minute.
You're not wrong. I've been thinking that myself. Literally, as much as the performances have been bad before, what happened there? Before with Russell Martin, right? But we need the result. We need the result. So yeah, so it stuck threw me off there. I think he's just coming in to sort out the team sheet when it comes up. But
Nicky just came out there, aye.
Yeah, Nicky. Before we go through that, before we go into what team's just been released, right? I know you haven't another chance to look at it. What are you hoping for? Who are you hoping to see in start lineup?
Well, I'm hoping for some better defending for sure. Our defence is everywhere, all over the place. I'm hoping Chermiti's not on there. Is he? Have you seen it?
I'm literally just reading it as we speak. Do you want me to go through it, Richard?
Go through it, mate. Yeah, because I'm not.
Go for it.
So in goal we have Jack Butland, no shock there. At the back we have Tav with the armband, Suter, and the returning Cornelius. We have Migoma at the back with Diamande and Raskin, Mikey Moore, Danilo, Gassama, and Majowski leading the line. So it looks like potentially two up top.
Can't really complain with that. How's your feelings towards that, Nicky? You didn't really go through who you're.
No, I think that is definitely right up there with who I would have chose. Yeah, that's looking pretty solid to me. Glad Cornelius is back in. I don't know why he was out the other night, to be fair. That was craziness.
I think that all really comes down to just a lot of Danny not really knowing what his best 11 is or who his best players are.
That's what it is. He's trying to figure that out, but he's solid. I wouldn't have been dropping him for sure.
On to yourself, Mitch. What are your thoughts on it?
I think Thursday night with Cornelius, I think that was generally a fitness thing. You know, that man played the full of that game, the Old Firm game, obviously played 90 minutes plus the extra time on top of it while we were a man light, and he was covering, no disrespect to wee Migoma, but he had to cover the defensive inabilities of Migoma at the moment, where you go, do you know what, that guy put in probably 2 games worth of a shift, and that was game number, if I'm right, I think game number 4 or 5 in 2 weeks. There was bound to be some changes in there. It's probably not the one that we wanted to have seen, you know, in terms of a lineup, but looking at the lineup, it's quite an attack-minded lineup when you look at that. You know, you're expecting pace to come from Tav at the side. You're expecting it to come from Migoma. In the middle, I will say Nico Raskin is due pulling his finger out for a big performance. Because, you know, we all agreed with Nico and said that it was Russell that was the problem. It's now up to Nico to grow a set and put out a performance that shows that we were right to back Nico. And at the moment, I think he's been quite guilty of coasting in quite a lot of games, playing within himself, and it could really be, as I say, could be doing with one of those grab it by the scruff performances.
Yeah, definitely needs to. Just looking at that, I was just thinking myself, do you think it's going to be 3 at the back again? It's going to be, really, isn't it? With the 5 midfield, 2 up top. How do you feel about that, Nikki?
I think that's a good way forward. And I think it's the first time I've said this, but I'm glad that Moore's in there. He's been shown as a bit more lately, and I've been liking what I've seen when he's shown us those wee flickers. So hopefully he can give us some more of that, because it is good when he's good. Danilo, Majovsky, I think it's a pretty good team selection.
Yeah, to be fair, I don't really think I have too many complaints to that myself. I personally would have liked to have seen Barron in rather than Diomande, but it's not one that was a glaring obvious starter for me. But I just feel that Barron deserves a run of games to really show what he can do, nail down, a place in the starting 11, which he's not really had the opportunity to do. But I know Dio's probably seen as the better player, so I can understand it. I agree with you, Nicky. Moore has came onto a bit of a game, showed it in glimpses, and maybe the expectations are a little bit too high. We've got to remember the kid's 18, so we can't really be expecting him to, be running the show every single game. He's going to flip in and out. His form's going to dip. So there's a lot of expectations on his young shoulders, to be fair, and quite whether that's right or wrong, that's not up to us to decide. But ultimately, you play for our club, you come here, the expectations on you no matter what. So I think the fans obviously will give him a bit of grace, but he has shown in glimpses he can do it for us.
Yeah.
Won't we get more of that? Mitch, with yourself, we've seen a little bit. We've seen Gassama really perform in some games, especially at the start, and he's sort of went off the boil a bit. You expecting more from him today?
Do you know, Gassama frustrates the life out of me because he does so much good where he's got the lightning pace, he can beat a man. Then he does the stupid, as I call it, where he throws himself on the floor where he doesn't need to throw himself on the floor. I'm sorry, but you're a big strapping lad. Somebody touches you on the ball, build a bridge, get over it. You go down when you need to go down, and you stay in your feet when you can stay in your feet. And I think on the ball, where he's in that final third, his decision making needs to be much better. There are times where he's been too greedy and try to do it all himself when a better option's available, or he then other times where he goes for the unselfish option when the selfish option's the right option to go for. And you're like, but I know at 22 years old, there is going to be that element with him where it's up to the manager to kind of coach that into him of, look, know when to hold him and know when to fold him. But I think, for me, I actually think, looking at the subs bench, the one player who is maybe get a right to feel a wee bit aggrieved at the moment is probably Bajrami not getting a look in. When you start to look at the volume of games players have played and the minutes that some players have had to show what they can do to Danny Rowe, I think it's an awkward one, or it has been an awkward one for Bajrami because obviously he's not in the Europa League squad, so he can't really be used there. But I think that's a bit of an issue, where what do we do with a £3 or £4 million signing who currently can't get in the team because we need to keep players in form for European games that we've had, but we're also paying him however much we're paying him to sit on the bench and not, and kick nothing. And I think Oliver Antman's another one that's a wee bit of a weird situation. I would like to see much more. But again, it's nice to have these selection problems. I think it's been a while that we've had selection problems like this to say, in this position, I would like to have X number, X, Y, and Z played every other game. But I think I don't know, it's an odd one. That's probably where I sit. It's an odd one, but Gassama needs to, for the first half today, unless he wants hooked at half time, he needs to knuckle his head down.
Yeah, you're right. And I agree with you on Ant-Man. I think there is a player in there. Do I think he's what I'd say is Rangers class? I don't think so. I've not seen anything to say that he's he's a cut above everybody else. He looks like probably going to be a solid squad player, I think. I hope I'm wrong in that, to be fair. But I've not seen anything. He's not done anything the way that Gassama has for me so far. A couple of glimpses at first. But yeah, nothing. And I sort of understand your point with Bajrami, but I feel the same way with Cameron. Although he's played slightly more than Bajrami, but he's not had a sniff, at more than one game. And giving him 2 games, three games run to show what he can really do. I feel that he deserves that. What about yourself? How do you feel about the subs, Nikki? Anything in there that you'd like to see?
I agree with Mitch in the Bajrami thing. He's got the short straw. And the fact that, as you say, that he's not in the European squad, that is doing him over, because he's not in that squad, but then we need to keep the others fit. So he's not getting in the squad for the league games either. So he's kind of stuffed, really. I would like to see more of Cameron. I think there's a great wee player in there, but he needs to be getting played more. We also got no NCL on the bench either.
That's upset me, I'm not going to lie.
I say, I feel so bad for that boy. He never got the chance under Martin, and it doesn't seem to be that he's getting it yet.
No, I know. I think there's a few. So obviously, Enciala, not really too surprised he's not on the bench. Sorry to say, Mitch. All right, I know you've got pictures of him on your bedroom wall, right? Fernandez can't get a sniff either. And one in the comments you can see is Curtis not on the bench. You any surprised by that, Mitch?
I don't know. With Curtis, I'm sure there's going to be an explanation about that. Kind of pre-match. You'd assume when Danny Rowe does his. It could be that, bear in mind, just about every second person you know is down with a lurgy at the moment. It could just be something as simple as he's loaded with the flu, and it's not worth putting him in the pitch because he's worse than a man down. As somebody who's spent the last few days dying with it myself, if he isn't well, then genuinely there's no point in making the rest of the squad sick by having him out there. But I think Fernandez is definitely a weird one, because how does Fernandez not make that bench when Jigger, who's played he's played the last 3 games in the trot in the last week? I know who I'd rather have a big fresh fridge freezer that I can pull off the pitch, off the bench if I need one. And Fernandez has shown that he's good in the air, so he's got good aerial ability there. He's a big threat. We've not seen enough to see what can he do with the ball at his feet. Can he break lines? Has he got that pass in him to go and break a line? Can he go and ragdoll a midfielder to go and get us that extra half yard going forward? And I think, much like you say with Cameron there, I think there's that element of he's probably got a right to feel a certain type of way about it. But, whatever's going on, I know obviously we were told after Russell Martin left that Fernandez was injured for 6 weeks. But again, things like that, Russell Martin should have just told us at the time when he was here. It's such low-hanging fruit, easy things that he could have made his own life easier with, but he's gone now, so it's fine. The big bad wolf's away now. But I think, looking at it, Cameron probably deserved a slot in that team today, and I think, I'm a bit surprised that he's not, and I don't know what's maybe happening with Cameron. We don't know how he's trained or anything else. I know he had that injury when he first joined us and stuff. You go, as he had maybe an ongoing niggle with it, that way, or is it something else entirely? Is it just that Danny Rowe doesn't quite know where to put him in right now? So what he's done is he's put out the strongest 11 that he's got available right now, and went, I tell you what, let's get 2-0 up after the hour mark. Cameron, you're coming on. Baz, you're coming on, and we'll see maybe some of the faces we've seen much less of. But I don't think that gives players, a personal opinion, I don't think that gives players meaningful minutes at that point. Because if the game's already gone, then what are you going to contribute?
I see your point, but to be honest, players do need to understand it's a squad game now. If you're not in the starting 11, you need to prove that you deserve to be, and if you're not, then when you get the minutes, you need to come on and do it. I thought Cameron would have been in with a fair shout today, especially against these old clubs. Like, he would know exactly what it takes, knows their weaknesses in a lot of them, and knows how to get at them, especially. So I'm hoping he does come on. He's the one for me that I'm looking for a good performance when he does, and I think he's got that in him. I just want to see it. But yeah, it's a strange one, but good points, mate. Coming on to yourself, Nicky, like one of the things that's been a frustration, I think, all season, but it's happened a little bit with Danny coming in, is that we've not started well, and going a goal behind is when, you know, the players have got to kick up the backside and started to perform. So we're certainly hoping that doesn't happen today. What do you think it is? Why is it taking to go a goal down before these players start, you know, putting a shift in?
Oh, I don't know. Before it was the whole mentality thing, wasn't it? Oh, it's the mentality. But I have not got a clue, to be honest with you. We just need to be digging in from the start. Straight away, straight off the bat, hit the ground running, keep pressing. But even when we are going forward, like the final third is not great. Like we're getting nobody that can score goals. Literally, there's it's dodgy. We have no one that we can rely on that will be like, get the ball to him and he's going to score. Nobody. And our defence is terrible. Like we were talking about Fernandez there, and what Mitch was saying, I would like to see if he can do them things. He's just not had the opportunity to show us, which it would be good if he could get the chance, especially when Giga's getting played. I'd have hooked him after 10 minutes the other day. Literally, he was terrible, absolutely dire. It was.
No sitting on the fence there, is there? And you're not wrong. You're
No.
genuinely not wrong. Like last Sunday, like he was the one player that frustrated me the most. You know, balls slipping under his feet and stuff. But like, you've got to think we're moving on from it. So today's a different game. Mitch, what sort of challenge do you think Dundee are going to pose to us? Do you think they're going to have a go? I think we're still. Do they think we are still weak and will attack us, or do you think they'll sit in? And who are you looking at to counter it?
Do you know, I'm going to go a wee bit more rogue and just say, look, we need to play and show Dundee no respect today. Like, treat them for what they are. Like, we have a squad that is, and it's going to sound really arrogant to say that, but our squad of players are full of international players. They are full of, you know, players who are earning good money, and they're earning that based on what they've done before coming here. Go out and just bloody do it. Go out, play with a swagger, get the chest out, walk about, and literally dog walk them in the park. Like, we've not done that to a team for a long time. And I think as a support, we're well overdue seeing us completely manhandle a team. And if this group of players want to kind of say, well, we've turned a corner, do it. This is the game to go out and do it. It's a team that have beaten us already this season. You get out, you go and get the first goal, you get the second one, you sit there 2 or 3-0 up before half time. I know, fever dreams, but go out there and don't give them an inch of anything. They get the ball, get it off their foot. They move the ball, you cut the ball. They want to come tackle you, ride the tackle, go in pairs and move as a unit.
I think it's all right saying that, like as you said there about the players we've got compared to them, but we've still only won one more game than them in the league. Have we not? Like they're on 2 wins, we're on 3.
That was the
Something
old
along
Nicky,
those
it's fine.
lines, but it's no. So saying give them no respect, I get where you're coming from, but we're not been that much better. I know we've not lost as many games because we've drew more, but I'm hoping that, as you say, that the day's the day that we do see us like totally annihilate a team. But I think that's more wishful thinking than anything.
It probably is, but it's got to start somewhere. So if I, put myself in the shoes of not being in the squad, looking at the squad, is like, what would how could I change the mentality, right, to get that type of performance? And I think the simple solution, not solution, but the easiest way to phrase it is do not give them respect. Go out there, with your chest puffed out, knowing that you're better players, knowing that you're a better team, you're at the bigger club, go out and show them why. That's what I'm looking for. That's what I want to see my players, performing in that way, that arrogance, that mentality, and that's what I think was missing, certainly in the start of the season. I'm not sure if Danny's going to basically take on that sort of mentality.
I don't think it'll be quite so rough round the edges as that. I think it'll be a bit more refined.
Even when we do go out like that, though, it's only for so long, and then that kind of usually falls away, and then that's where we go wrong. And it's giving away that goal and all. We need to try and keep a clean sheet.
Yeah.
But with our defence, it's hard.
But as Random Madness is asking here, so when I'm talking about having that swagger and that arrogance about who we are, this is Rangers in Scottish football. We should be performing this way. That's why we need that Scottish assistant. That's what I think he's going to bring to it, which I'm hoping that's what they want to instill. But like I say, we don't know. We don't know the criteria that they're looking for with this manager, whether it be a Neil McCann type, Kevin Thompson, or they want more of a coach. But we've talked about that in different pods.
It's taking ages, though. Do you not think? Like, we're like 2 weeks or something in. I think we're needing that Scottish person around sooner rather as later. And I know Mick's is shaking his head, but they do need that Scottish person around the team to give them that and instill that, obviously, into our players that are European players that don't really know Scottish football, and like Danny Rowe. So I'm hoping that gets sorted out soon.
Well, they've got the international break, so hopefully they will. And I'll just
come back to that with the person. That would be good.
Yeah, I just put that one up from Dino just for the females in the audience want to have a wee picture of him. Right.
So going on the coach thing. Sorry, just to follow up on that. One of the biggest reasons why I think it's not happened in the last 2 weeks has been the volume of games that we've had. Literally, the man's been in Norway. He's been in all across Scotland. We've literally had a game every 3 days since he's been here. Like the man's not had a chance to even tie his shoelaces, get his shoes off at the door before coming in. He's probably still living out a bloody suitcase at this moment in time. I look at it the day that Danny Rowe was announced, 48 hours later, we were on a plane. The guy's not had 2 minutes to sit down and speak to probably guys like Kevin Thompson, like Neil McCann, guys like maybe even Maurice Ross and people like that, to go and sit down and say, what do you think you can bring to my staff? And I think I would like to think that it's going to get done over this international break, because there is that time.
Me too, hopefully.
Because, other than the players that aren't in international squads, you'd still assume that they're going to get probably 2 or 3 days off at the start of next week to go and recover or whatever else. So you'd think probably by the middle of next week, you'd assume that they're going to start having those conversations of, right, we would like to speak to you, and you. Come have a chat, come have a coffee, tell us what you think. And it might even be that we bring a mixture of them in and say, well, look, you come in for a couple of weeks, you come in for a couple of weeks. Or it might just be that we just go straight out and say, we'll bring you in to the end of the season, then we can reevaluate then.
Oh, I don't think I'm keen on bringing somebody in for a couple of weeks and then somebody else. I don't think that's good for the way forward.
I think
already had some upset, like it's been unsettling for the team already. So for to have that, I think we need to pick somebody and be like, right, at least till the end of the season, see how you get on. If no, then change it then.
Go on, Mitch. You're muted, mate.
Your lips are moving, but nothing's coming out.
There you go, bud.
Just looking very confused.
I think you're having some issues there, mate. Right, Nikki, going to pose the major question to you. What do you think the score's going to be? Right, obviously, Mitch will come back to you. And any predictions at all for the game?
I'm going to say 3-1 in my heart, but my head's saying it could possibly be a draw. Hoping that Cameron will come on, maybe half time, just after maybe the 60-minute mark. That's really my only hopes.
Mitch, you with us, pal?
I think he's having a rave to some
Think
sort
he's
of
ha-
Gabby
think he's having
Stall's
some-
house or something.
Having some techish. I'm going to go on. I think it's going to be a comfortable 3-1. I'm not going to try and predict goal scorers, to be honest, because I think that's just too much, because I have no idea where our goals are going to come from. But I think we'll get the win.
That's true.
We'll see what happens. Somebody's saying Mitch has got a poltergeist. Probably. I'm pretty sure a poltergeist would be scared of Mitch, to be honest. But, are you with us, pal? No, he's done it. Right. Right. On that note, we'll call it there for the pod. Hopefully we'll see quite a few of you again post-match, being quite happy. Nikki, this is what, your second podcast?
Pod, yeah.
Yeah, enjoying it, getting into it?
Yeah, it's all right.
All right.
I'll
Brilliant.
get there.
Right, enjoy the game and we'll speak to you afterwards.
See you
Speak to
later.
Bye. He says.
Every night is the Rangers Journal night.